Hi. My light and sound sensitivity is starting to come back a little bit, so that's not pleasant, especially because it's a nice sunny day today, and I have a Toastmasters meeting today, and I'm giving a 1 hour seminar tomorrow, and I teach online through headphones, so that's a lot of sound, so that's super not pleasant. Being sensitive to light and sound will make life pretty much suck really fast. But hopefully, when I back off my schedule here, exactly 1 week from now, I'll start to improve again because I'm going to cut my schedule by quite a bit. Maybe not all the way in half again, but a lot, almost maybe almost in half. So because my health is deteriorating fast at this point. And I'm gonna go on a crazy restrictive diet because my body has not been right in the last 2 years. Obviously, over 2 years, and I react weird to all sorts of stuff. Plants and dairy now, and all sorts of stuff. So my body just got completely reconfigured, and so I'm gonna go on a super restrictive diet because I've made some progress. I've obviously made a lot of progress. I haven't been having major memory issues like I was. Now my memory kind of sucks. Like my memory never fully recovered, but it recovered a lot from where it was because it was really bad for a while. So I'm going to go on this crazy restrictive diet, and I might end up applying for a bridge card. I have to reconfigure my mind. I don't like this stuff because from an economic and societal standpoint, like it's extremely detrimental over a number of people over lengths of time. It's just it's bad, but I have to survive, and I have to survive. Which I've been thinking about, like how do I make decisions, right? Because let's be honest here, we can really doubt my decision making ability. And I've been thinking about Richard Branson mentioning protecting the downside. What if I just mostly made decisions off of the downside about change, right? About things you're changing. It's just like calculated off the downside. So what's the downside of doing the bridge card thing? There's not much. Like it's low. If you're rating stuff on low, medium, and high downside, like it's low. Not a huge deal. Uh, you know, ethics and economics wise, I mean, it's still a small thing, right? It's like a drop in the ocean. I believe that my increases in IQ have been crystal intelligence, right? Crystal IQ, a crystallized IQ. So remembering stuff like names and numbers and things like that. But my fluid intelligence has increased too, but I don't think it's increased as much as my crystallized intelligence. My crystallized intelligence seemed to have come back a lot because I could access memories that I couldn't for a while. Stuff just wouldn't come to me, like my brain wasn't firing correctly. And my fluid intelligence has definitely improved, but not that great. Like the number of digits that I can remember, a working memory test is remembering the number of digits. It tops out at 6 now. And I haven't tested it recently. That was when I was feeling good. I really don't want to test it now because I think that would be depressing if I could do like 5 or 4 numbers. It's right. That's not good. And kind of I kind of don't want to know that. But my fluid IQ was high, and then it dropped way way down, and then it's come back somewhat. Maybe right now it's down a little bit, but then my crystal IQ has followed that same pattern, but I think it's gone higher or recovered more than the fluid intelligence, which is interesting because the fluid intelligence is a lot of what you want because that's the intelligence that allows you to adjust to situations and learn new things. The fluid intelligence feeds the crystal intelligence or crystallized intelligence over time. So measuring crystallized intelligence is a really good measure of fluid intelligence usually because they're usually basically exactly equal. It's really interesting. I've just been thinking about it because my working memory scores have not gone very high, but my IQ scores on IQ tests has gone pretty high. And I think so there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. Like they both went up, but the one went up more than the other. And I think that's kind of what it is. And I've kind of been thinking about, survival versus thrival. And obviously, I haven't been thriving over the last couple of years. And before that, it was debatable. I don't know if I was thriving or just surviving, but I was more living life on my terms to a large extent. I had kind of a crazy life plan slash philosophy about having a lot of adventures and that type of stuff, and taking a lot of risks and doing a lot of different kinds of exploring in life, everything from philosophy to the dangerous adventures. And so I was kind of thriving in my own terms. Like, I was doing what I want, and I was learning a lot of stuff and having a lot of adventures, and it was going good. And so over the last 2 years, I've mostly, almost exclusively, been focused on surviving, right? Because, I mean, it was pure survival in Africa. And then afterwards, I was so sick, it was basically just pure survival. And then after that, it was like, okay, now I can get back to living. But really, I was just like, all right, let's just kind of stabilize at this better point. But I never could. It was always bad, always bad, always bad. And I think I've kind of fallen into the mental state of just like survive, just like get through the day, get through the week, get through the month, get through the year. And that, years add up to decades, decades add up to life. So that hasn't been working that great for the last couple of years. I've done some cool stuff because I have not been exclusively focused on that, because my mentality carried over from before I was sick in Africa. And I really, I try to suck the juices out of life, but it's kind of just beaten me down over the years. I mean, just like now, like that light is killing me, but kind of need it on because the light outside is kind of weird and my face is kind of dark already. And sound and light hurt, and I hurt anyways. And most of, or a lot of, the stuff I've done over the last couple of years, I've failed at, or haven't been able to do. I mean, just all sorts of stuff. Everything from shoveling the driveway to different jobs. Right, and the last 2 years was the first time I've ever encountered not being able to do a job, which is weird or disturbing. So I've fallen more and more into this just like, all right, just survive type of state. And I think there's an issue with that, because if you hit your goal of surviving, like, you're still not doing very good, and you're hitting your goal. So that's an issue. I need to change that up. So obviously I'm just mulling over these things, but I have one more week on this intense schedule, and then I don't know how long it's going to take me to really recover. But I'm going to go right into this hardcore restrictive diet and see if I can get improvements out of that, because I have to do something. I mean, I've improved from my lowest points quite a lot, which I forget sometimes because it depends on what you compare it to. If I compare myself to my lowest point, I'm doing pretty good. If I compare myself to my highest point, I'm doing pretty bad. Before, over to like 2.5 years ago. So it depends on what you compare it to, and I forget to compare it to the lowest point sometimes. But I don't really want to be comparing it to the lowest point. I want to improve. I want to get better. So I have to change stuff up, and I'm going to try the diet experiment. That'll be it. I got to back off work because this experiment of working more hours has not gone well at all. And then I got to play with this. I got to change the way I'm making decisions, or my strategy in life, or strategies in life. Something. All right, something has to change. So I'm playing with some frameworks in that direction, and we'll see how it goes. Anyways, I need to get some sleep so that I can do stuff later. So I will talk to you next time. Bye.